A little sheet here. You can go ahead and read it later on, but what I want to talk about today is backup. How many people here, besides Sharice and Marcy, have computers? Because I know they do. How many of you ever had your computer quit working? How many of you know exactly where your hard drives are, your disks, your IDs, your passwords, your login names, where your temporary files are? You know where all that is. You cheat because I helped you there. If you don't know where all that information is, it's very advisable for you to back up your data on a regular basis. For some companies or people, whether you're a big business, small business, or even a one-person shop, it's very important for you to do this on a regular basis. Sometimes it's just once a week. Sometimes it's once a month. If you're smart, it's every day. Because you never know when your hard drive is going to stop spinning. You never know when your hard drive is going to quit moving. And this is the same for Macintosh as it is for Windows-based machines. Because I know Macintoshes never fail when people call me and they say, "Can you fix my Mac?" I just know them. Mac's got a great reputation. It's because they've got great advertising. I love those commercials. But it's not necessarily true. They're not giving you one-for-one information. So when you back up, there are three ways to back up. One is a very easy way to do it, and most people can do it nowadays because everybody's got a computer that's got a USB drive. So you go out to the store and you buy your 16 or 32 or 46 gig backup device. You put it in your USB port, and you can drag and drop what you want saved. Well, that's all well and good, except when you lose your hard drive, you're not just losing the data that you put on here. You have to be able to boot from a device after replacing your hard drive and then restore all that data from your external device to your internal device. There's two ways that we do this, and a couple of months ago, or about a year ago when we had another person here, he had asked me, can I buy a new computer and just take everything off that old computer and put it on a new one? Well, you can take the data off, but you can't take the programs off because the programs have to be installed. They normally put in what's called registry keys, and those are pointers to different parts of the programs to make them work. So while the data can come over natively, the programs can't. They have to be reinstalled until now. There's a product that we support, that we sell vigorously to our clients. We try to get them to buy it because for a desktop it's all of $80. What this product does is it will take a CD and make an image of your hard drive, and it puts it on an external device, whether it's a network device or an external USB device. And an external network device is like a storage area network or another computer that's got massive amounts of hard drive space that you're just using as a server. The reason for this is we like this product because it can restore your entire hard drive in a matter of minutes. It takes the first full backup, makes a copy of your operating system, the registry settings, the invisible files that you don't see unless you know how to get to them, puts them on this external device. Now, in the busiest part of the tax season, Ed will call me and say, "Oh my God, my hard drive failed. What do I do?" And I'm going to tell Ed, don't worry about it because you have StorageCraft Shadow Protect Desktop Edition. What you're going to do is you're going to go out and buy yourself a bigger hard drive because you know you're always expanding your data load. You're going to put that in yourself because Ed can do this. He knows how to turn a screwdriver. Then he's going to turn the computer on, make sure he gets the F1 prompt that says your hard drive size has changed. He's going to press F1 saying, "Yes, I know this." Then he's going to open up the CD tray. Then he's going to turn the computer off. Next thing he's going to do is he's going to take that CD that comes with it, put it in there, and then he's going to boot off the CD. The CD has an operating system on it. Then it's going to say, what do you want to do? Do you want to make a backup? And of course you don't want to make a backup because you've already made your backup. You want to restore. So he's going to click on restore, and then it's going to say you're going to restore from where? And it'll have a series of drive letters depending on how many drives you have. And it'll say, I want to take from my F drive, which is usually our external drive, either USB or NAS device, and I want to put it back in my C drive. Then it'll say start, and you'll just watch the whizzy things go. We have I have a 160 gig hard drive on my laptop, and I've been able to restore it from one device to another in about 43 minutes. It would take me about 8 hours to restore my laptop from the beginning by putting in every CD for every program that I have, for every operating system. And don't forget, you bought your computer 2, 3, 4 years ago. Right. There have been service packs that have come out since then, hot fixes, updates. That will alone takes about 2 to 3 hours on a Microsoft product. And I know on a Macintosh product it's probably a lot faster, right? It never happens. Now the third way is the way that I've been talking about in the past, and it's Microsoft's, they call it Windows Home Server, but it's misnamed. It is really a server that should be called the Microsoft Micro Business Server. It's good for up to 10 computers. It can do SharePoint services, which is collaboration on the internet. So if you're walking around somewhere and you need to get data from that device, You can go to the library, take your handy dandy thumb drive, stick it in a library device, and then copy your data that you need. Lee's got to go show pictures to somebody. Oh my God, my device, I lost my CD. He takes his thumb drive, puts it in a computer, copies the information off his device, and it does work for both Macintosh and Windows, so it's a great product. The other thing he can do with it, he can back up to 10 computers every night, as long as he makes sure that the computers he wants to back up are turned on. It's a very small footprint. It's about the size of a big 4-slice toaster. It's easily hidden, so you don't have to worry about somebody stealing it. I met a new client yesterday, and when I walked in there, they said they had an IT consultant in there before, and they were doing backups, and the guy decided just to test his backups, which you should do at least once a month, to make sure the data that was on his backup drive could actually be written to his local hard drive in another area. They tried to do it, and then they realized they haven't been having a backup for the last 6 months. He showed me the program, and they're like most people, they don't want to buy a real server, they want to buy something like a Windows XP machine and just use that. There's nothing wrong with that. As you grow, there is something wrong with that. 1 or 2 people, up to 10 people, that's fine. In his particular case, he has 1 hard drive. That hard drive fails, and if he didn't have the backup, he's out of business. And actually, it's a she, it's a woman-owned business. So he said, I need something where I can go ahead and do exactly what I just told you about, re-image the hard drive, put it in there. And he's a little bit smarter than most people, the guy that takes care of this, because he makes a copy of the C drive onto the D drive, and then he makes a copy from the D drive to an external drive that he takes home. So that usually is the best way to do it. You want to keep it off-site in case that building burns down. You haven't lost all your data. You've lost the equipment. You can go out and buy another computer. Now, speaking of buying computers, how many of you like to go to Best Buy and buy computers? Good, I'm very proud of you, because those are home computers. They're not business-class computers. This server I'm talking about, the micro business server, can use Windows Vista Home, Windows Vista Basic, Premium, any version of Windows, and Windows XP Home and Windows XP Professional, which is good. As you go up the chain of servers, especially a small business server, you have to have a business class computer. The reason is the smaller computers, Home, anything, whether it's XP or Vista, they are not concerned with security. They don't care if you go to the internet and download as much porn as you want, because it's your home. They don't care. But a business who's requiring people to do work, and they pay them for that, doesn't necessarily want to have their computers infected by viruses, by porn, by spyware, by malware. Now it's a big junk called malware. So it's the same thing. You take your computer, you leave it on the network, you replace the hard drive, you boot off a CD that comes with it, and then you don't have to do anything but load 1 driver. And the drivers are easy to find. It'll find your computer on the network by MAC address, which is the network card address, and it'll just start restoring it. And this device runs at 1 gigabyte, which is the standard now, not 10100. Now it's 1 gigabyte. It has a 1 gigabyte backbone. You have a 1 gigabyte switch. You have a computer that's 1 gigabyte. You can restore that. That also I was able to do in about 45 minutes. So in closing, you have 3 levels. You can do drag and drop to an external device. You have a thumb drive that you can drag and drop to. You have Shadow Protect for the smaller businesses. And then you have the Microsoft Micro Business Server. Anybody have any questions? How easy it is? Mike?
The second one you mentioned, what was the exact name of that one again?
Shadow Protect, and I'm a Shadow Protect reseller. You cannot buy it directly, but it's only $80.
But we can get it from you.
Yeah, you can get it from me.
And do you have to buy one of those for each? Like if you
Actually, I think right now there's a bundle of 3 for 1. If you buy it for, I think it's $140, you get 3 licenses, 1 for each computer. In your particular case, I wouldn't go that way. The reason I wouldn't go that way is because you would have to go ahead and either have a device that's on the network already to copy all 3. Well, you have 3 computers, right? Your computer, you'd have to have 3 separate licenses, which is great, but now you're doing 3 separate ones. Let the Microsoft Home Server, which is under $500, let that do that. Let it do the backup for you. You don't have to remember to start it. All you have to do is remember to leave your computer on, and it's smart enough now where it's saying, if your computer's asleep, do I have your permission to wake it up? Your answer should be yes, because if the hard drive isn't spinning, it will not back up.
What's your best advice for notebooks and laptops?
Well, let me put it this way. I've seen a lot of clients now that have notebooks, but they don't go anywhere with them. They leave them on their desk and they just sit there.
The traveling ones.
The traveling ones, I would highly recommend the desktop, the Shadow Protect desktop. If you take it home, like I take mine home because I don't want to leave it at my office. So I have the Shadow Protect doing a backup every night at midnight. And I'm kind of crazy because I don't mind. The nice thing about this, in the old days, which meant 2 years ago, you would take your laptop and you'd have to do a restore. First you restore the main backup, and then you'd have to restore the updates. With this Microsoft Small Business, or the Micro Business Server, what you do now is you just tell it back up this one. And no matter how many updates it's done since the last full backup, it does them all.